Okay, whatever. Let's get better about making sure we do that. It will probably happen in the future because I'm gonna have to go in and set up streams in the future. I'm almost all out of them. Speaking of future streams, so we will have a stream this Thursday, but we have Thanksgiving coming up here in America, and I am going to be out of town. And I don't think I really want to try and do a stream that day. I mean, maybe in the future it'd be a thing, but I think it'd just be too much headache stepping on other people's toes. So just put those lines there. But yeah, so probably no stream on Thanksgiving. If I am feeling eager and got my poop together, maybe I'll try and do a Wednesday stream. But probably not, because I'm gonna be occupied getting ready. Yeah, it makes me wonder what day of the week Christmas is on. Have to figure that out. I'll think about that when I'm scheduling these streams in the future. I got a new heater in my studio, and it is making a big old difference. It is so much more comfortable in here. It doesn't, especially because it's been cold this week. At night in this part of California. But yeah, it doesn't help that in my house the HVAC has been down. We got it fixed. We got it. The guy's supposed to be coming out later this week. He's got the part supposedly, so the whole house will become much more warmer. Is the thought. But the new little the heat in my studio has always been kind of crappy. It's, you know, a converted garage space. So the HVAC that does exist in here was kind of slap shot, you know. I mean, it makes a difference, but at the same time, it's to make this room more, you know, comfortable. The rest of the house has to become almost to the point of uncomfort. Because, yeah, being a Southern California house, of course, we have, like, no insulation. Because who needs insulation in California, right? Yeah. Sometimes I am really miffed at just how short-sighted the boomers were. Or were? Why am I saying that in the past tense? Boomers are so short-sighted that if they had a penis longer than 2 inches, they wouldn't be able to see the end of it. Boomers are so short-sighted, there's a reason why they don't date people with big noses. They want to be able to see each other. I'm just being silly. Obviously, no group of people is a monolith other than groups of people that have been created via a monolithic subject line. Oh, come on. Procreate, let's go. And even then, it's going to be pushing it because, you know, not all goth people are blah, blah, blah. Not all, yeah. So, kind of wish Procreate would let you pick these tools to draw with more other than like kind of on the fly guessing by the app. I wish I could like choose it and be like, oh, okay, we're going to use this tool. Okay. I'm liking that, liking that, liking that. Is this going to make too much of a mark on the ends? Can I get away with this? Let's check this. Shit. You guys see that, right? It's like, ugh. Well, that's annoying, but we can deal with it. What we'll have to do is we'll have to draw those ones on a different layer and delete the overcast on the end of the tip. I know I could technically go in there and change the pen to not do that anymore, but at the same time, I kind of want that from the pen, so yeah. Because if I change that, that's going to be like changing its nature. Okay. I'll do this edge one first, just because it's a little weird. But yeah, so that also means that this line here, I'm probably going to do some fours Do some like internal framing here with the thicker line weights. Just so that these edges match up nicer, like there isn't bump over like I was talking about. Go there, come down to there, and then we're back up to here. Let's edit that. So we're on there and there. Oh boy. So Thanksgiving's next week. Most of you guys are up to. I've always been more of a fan of, Friendsgiving or Thanksgiving than Thanksgiving, just because of the Judeo-Christian American founding myth BS that's associated with that holiday. That's no worries. Show up when you can show up. I don't expect you to be on every... waiting around to jump on YouTube. I do appreciate it when you do show up. But it's whatever. I mean, I got a slow start. I mean, the intro, I didn't even remember to turn on my mic the first couple times I did it. Are we still okay? Screen's working. Definitely say I am not super fond of this chilly weather like this. With that said, I probably prefer this over 90-degree weather. I don't know. It's a borderline. Oh man. Because when it's 90 degrees out, or over 90, it is a bit much for me to handle physically. But at least when it's like warm out around here, I mean, that's the thing. It's like we've had some dates, especially back in July and whatnot, where it was wicked hot and very uncomfortable. And like I was glad I ran off and like ran down to a museum or something. One of those institutions that has built-in air conditioning on the high-end level. But my point being in that, it feels like it's easier to combat the too warm than it is the too cold. For me, I mean, I get, like when it's too warm out, I just have to stay minimum movement. But when it's too cold out, I'm like a frozen diesel truck. I'm like, I can't move. I can't get no locomotion. That being said, I do not enjoy sweating. But due to my back injury, chills suck. Maybe worse. Because due to my back injury, I can't go into shivers without becoming fully incapacitated, because soft tissue injury on your spine does not appreciate your body doing the little shimmy, shimmy, shake. And that's the other thing too, is it seems like Southern California, the houses and whatnot are more set up and designed to deal with that, nice summer weather than it is this cold stuff. Which is not that, oh my gosh, that's just a surprise. Because, where I'm at, we get like, I think it's like 306 days, something like that, of sunshine. It's up there, essentially every day of the year out here. It's a nice sunny day. Granted, it might not be that warm. I say that, and it's like, it's not that warm, but it's like, 55 over 55, which is, for large swaths of this nation at this current point in time, 55 degrees is pretty freaking nice, especially when you compare it to like negative 30 or whatever. I don't know if there's a snowstorm going off right now, but when those guys get caught up in those Arctic flows, woo, doggy. I do not miss that kind of cold. And I do not understand how people aren't down for that. Because it really is like Louis Anderson made the best joke. It's like, at least out here in California, we don't have to wait until spring to find our dead. And it literally was like a thing that happened. Like, because like you would hear about, like I heard about this like when I was living in Wisconsin. Like the spring, they would find bodies of lost like fishermen and snowmobilers and whatnot, guys that got lost out there. And it was like, so oftentimes they weren't even that far from like civilization or whatever. Like they were like 150, 300 feet from a house or something. And it's just so sad to think about that. Like, it's like they got so close, but the weather got them. Because it was funny, because like I saw that joke from Louis Anderson. I think I was still living in like Idaho, so like I had experienced, it was like cold and whatnot. But El Nino in Wisconsin was absolute horror. Is that a little bit better, guys? Okay, yeah, that's a little bit better. We can try and move some stuff. Sorry about that mic noise. We're trying to figure this out, everybody. We're all learning here. This is a learning channel, if you will. Hopefully I'm not peeking out too much. The meter doesn't say I am. The meter's saying that I'm probably just barely loud enough some of the times. And that's why I get really close. That kind of is my thought about this, because like these, I mean, granted, this microphone isn't like super high quality, but I'm thinking its condenser is somewhat better than that little wireless pod thing that I had, which isn't bad, but at the same time, when it comes to audio collection, size does make a difference. Just cause certain things and whatnot. I Thinking. Thinking that this is good. I'm also wondering how much better this microphone sounds. If there's someone there that is listening to me. I'm just kidding. Ooh, gotta finish this line. Let's make sure we didn't fuck it up. Okay, we look good. Let's do this. Making progress, aren't we? We almost got this lint belt of little God's eyes done. Oh, my hood keeps touching the microphone. Hopefully that's not too loud for you guys. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, I'm doing this in the number 2 pen, as I refer to them. That's number 1, that's number 2, that's number 3, and that's number 4. You couldn't see that. The first preset is number 1, the second preset is number 2. You can see those, right? Yeah. These little. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. Just to make that clear if I haven't made that clear already. Sounds like some kind of pieces I can put together in a little FYI video that I should make for this channel. But anyways, back to what I was saying. In that I'm working with the number 2 pen here. Because I want to strike a balance between spaces between these 2 lines. So maximize this area, because I'm thinking I might put ornamentation and whatnot down in there. Thinking about it. But also then that way I can do like these hash lines with the little stuff. But then also, because if it's 2, I can go thick and thin. So part of that means is I'm thinking like I might end up doing. I can't do thick end to ends here because those edges will touch out. But there might be something interesting like this going on. Let's see if that bounces the edges. No, yeah. I mean, if I do this, I could do it, but I'm gonna have to do it on a separate layer thing to trim that. But that's not that big of a deal. Honestly, I should be working on a layer that isn't my absolute key block constantly, because just because of the nuances of Procreate and whatnot, like being able to undo stuff and whatnot, or the limitations of how you can undo stuff. Come on. Whee! Okay, now we're moving. We're going around. We're gonna be doing this. checking this. Okay, we're cool. Everything looks blown out. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So I got hopes of getting a good chunk of this key block laid out tonight. But that giant Celtic knot thing, like torques? I forget what they're called. I am not gonna touch that tonight. That is, I might not even touch that on stream. You might just show up one day and it'll be done. Because it's a freaking headache getting the layering correct and like making sure keeping it straight. I don't think I'm going to have it in me to do that and yakety yak. But who knows? Maybe yakety yakking while I'm hammering my head against the wall. Because I mean, that is the thing. There's a lot of redoing, going back, that I'm going to have to do. But with that said, they look really cool when they get done. And they are fun. And of course it makes it a circle. And another circle. So we're gonna have to make. Okay, let's. I think this needs to be 66. This needs to be 22. And I think motion filtering is the third where it should be at. Come on. Okay, that did not help. Did stabilization make a difference on that? Come on. Shit, that is a stabilization thing. Okay. So, stabilization down to a third? Let's make all these thirds. See how that does for me. There we go. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm thinking of these things as in belts. So we have this top belt in green here. So we got belts and fields. So top belt, this middle belt, and this bottom belt with two fields in between them. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that screwed up. Come on. Because as I was doing 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, wait, no, there's a gap there. So we're cool. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4. Alright. Alright, let's try and get this outside done again. So we're gonna put some there to there. Ah, Procreate. Come on, Procreate. Let's stop being dumb. Come on. Come on. Let's go, buddy. Wake up. Okay, folks, I am going to take a small break because it looks like my iPad needs to get rebooted. I really do think my iPad is fucking dying on me, which is going to be sad because I have not yet figured out how to get all these files off. Need to do that. But, oh my god, is this, stupid fucking updates on this iPad. It's absolute garbage. Garbage. Dude, I don't back anything up on the iCloud. Why do you keep asking me? Hopefully I didn't just fucking splash my number across the world there. Come on. I don't know. So it's being dumb. I am gonna let that reboot, and then take a small break because I need to take care of some business of my own, folks. Please stick around. We'll be back shortly. Should only be like a 5-minute break. Wait, you can still hear me. Ha ha ha! Hot mic. And this time I turned my mic back on. Welcome back, folks. I'm back. You could see me that first time, but you could not hear me. Understandable. Yeah. So we've done a soft reboot. Hopefully that gives us some alleviation. Nope, apparently not. Okay. Okay, let's get this line in, huh? Procreate. Come on, bro. Stop busting my balls here. Come on. Procreate, iPad, I don't care who the fuck does it. Either one of you just get the work in. Come on. Okay, hopefully we're working again. Let's see what my phone just vibrated about. It was in my pocket. Why don't you see two screens? I don't know, maybe, are you on the vertical stream? Of course that one's not. iPad is being temperamental. Looks like you might be on my vertical stream. Yeah, it looks like it is. Cause yep, there you are. I see you. See, what you are is you're on my vertical stream right now. Which only has the iPad screen going on it. And it's labeled. It says vertical drawing stream. And if you want the two-screen one, you'll look for the one that just says drawing stream. Hopefully that's easy for you to see in YouTube. Or stick around and watch the vertical one. It's up to you. You'll be able to hear me, but you'll never be able to see me. Because I don't think even on these ones, yeah, the vertical stream never sees my face. But yeah, okay. Okay, iPad is now working again. Let us try and get this line laid down. So we're gonna do a 4 here. This over here. Oop. Gotta be on the right line. Okay. That line's good. Come on, let's go for that right. And I need to lay down another one of these 4 lines here. Because part of what that will do is by being thick, it'll be able to absorb any size of the ends of these pins. There's the overlap. There's the overlap point. Ooh, dug in. Hopefully you did not hear that. Come on. See how bad this got messed up. Okay, we're good there. Let's come down to this one. Come down to here. Yeah, like as I was saying. What the hell? Oh, hey, where did this one get off to? Did everything get moved? Everything got moved. Of course everything got moved. 'Cause, yeah. Whatever. Okay, let's get this line done. I wish there was a way to erase anchor points on the poly tool. But at the same time, my understanding is that is quite a processor heavy thing to do, and I don't think my iPad would be capable of doing it. Sorry, I watched a video a while ago now, from Procreate, and it was basically it was funny. It was one of the head up guys for it. I think it was product design or something. But and they were talking and they went over like, why can't Procreate do this? In the because there's like a discussion forum that Procreate used to have for features and whatnot, and he was going through it, and one of them was like the individual creation of anchor points as well as erasing anchor points. And he was talking about apparently, because that's like on the fly vectorization thing, and apparently it requires, like, it works better when it has something like a GPU handling it instead of a CPU, and since iPads don't actually have GPUs, they did not put that feature. Like, basically, it would cause a lot of bogging on the thing. But yeah, so I totally lost my train of thought there, folks. I'm sorry about that. Whatever. So that's, did I get that line in there? 4, 3, nope. Okay, so time for 2 line. That line there. Yeah, no, I mean, no, honestly, if this really takes off, I'm gonna have to think hard about looking into using Adobe on something. No longer certain as to what I would draw on. I mean, I know they have like those Wacom and whatnot. You could hook them up to a laptop, but I think there's been some like I think the iPad Pros, especially the newer ones that are running like those M chips and whatnot, I think that they yeah, but anyways, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm all over the place here tonight, guys. I am, yeah, basically going to have to give good thought about whether or not to get back into Photoshop or Illustrator. Because yeah, they are far more dynamic. You know, especially with like undo and step backwards and that kind of stuff, as well as anchor point modifications and those sorts of things. But I would have to definitely do some serious research. Because I mean, that is one of the things I do really like. Come on, Procreate, let's go. Normally like about it. Let's go, buddy, come on. Why are you being broken? Come on, let's do this. But yeah, it's yeah, I'll have to figure it out. One of the things I do like about the Procreate on the iPad is the ability of like drawing while I'm sitting in front of, you know, the TV on my couch, or take it on the go. Because that was one of the things I did kind of find annoying, was when I was drawing on my Wacom back in the day. Granted, this is like the Wacom Cintiq from 2005 or something like that, so it was bulky, it was heavy and not movable, and it had to be tied into my computer, and you know, as such, I could only work in the little workstation space that I had made for it, which isn't like the absolute end all worst thing ever, but at the same time, it's nice to be able to choose what sorts of chair or seating situation you find comfortable to work in. Because I mean, sometimes you're like, I want to be all super serious and I'm gonna do this, and then other times you're like, hey man, I kind of just want to putz through this thing. Come on, let's go. There you go. Ooh, doggy. That is a thin line. Come on. Oh, Kirboga should teach a class on how to talk about just talking. I am super impressed with his ability to just constantly just blather on and on. I mean, I get that, like, part of his shtick is not to make sense. This is so annoying. Okay. Wasn't as hard as pulling wisdom teeth, but it shouldn't have been as hard as it was. That definitely needs to be thought about. Ooh, my juice bag that I brought back with me. Did not open that yet. Ooh, juicy juice time, folks. Juicy juice. I mean, I'm saying juicy juice, but this is actually a Capri Sun. Oh yeah, berry. One of the better. I'm not gonna make an argument that it's the best, but it's up there. Berry is very good, in my opinion. Oops, sorry. Did not mean to make everything shake like an earthquake. Seems like we're still flowing. We're still going. Everything is kind of still working. We're good. Okay. I just need a little hydration here, folks. Okay. I don't think it's my Reynolds. I don't know. I don't know. I'm definitely tempted to try and get one of those keyboard things, because you can get controllers and whatnot for your iPad, especially ones that are designed to work with Procreate. And one of the many things that they do is zoom in and zoom out. And if that was a button instead of this touchscreen thing, because I think part of it is that it's the stupid fact that the maneuvering gestures are like, I need to go look. But so the maneuvering and undo stuff are, I think, too close. But then it's just like this stuff. It's like it's not moving. It's not responding to anything. Come on, really? The other thing is I'm wondering if this dongle is like fucking up my iPad somehow. So that's the other thing is like my iPad has definitely gotten much more obstinate and like just annoying with this stuff since I've started doing this regular streaming thing. So I'm not sure what it is. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. That's where we're at so far here. We got the belts all cut up. Ooh. Headphone almost fell out. Moving. Stroke my beard here. Yeah, enjoy the ASR. Wow. Okay, drawing assist is on. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do these slightly thicker lines that are touching this thinner line here. If I was super smart, because I had half that thought I was going to do, I should have done like a thick line here, but I didn't. And for some reason in my head, I wanted the line weight to be the same all the way through it. And the iPad just disappeared. So let's plug that. See if this solves that problem. Hey, we're back. Okay. But yeah, so we're going to draw these thick lines and then cut them, come in and cut that little bit of overhang. I forget what the term is for that. There is a specific term for it when you're drawing digitally. Oops. Yeah. So one of the things I'm gonna have to do is turn it down. So that's the middle. Okay, so up and down. Okay. Oh, boy howdy. The only problem with these lovely new heater in my studio is that I'm an open window kind of guy, and part of that is because my eyeballs get all dried out. And so now I have that, I used to call it my winter squint. And it came from, the dried out air in wintertime. Though it's funny because cold air is so much drier than hot air ever is. That was one of the things that I definitely never enjoyed about truly cold places. Just how much moisture there wasn't in the air because of how cold it was. And it was so crazy because, like, sometimes got so cold in North Idaho at times that your breath wouldn't go up. It was so creepy. Because you know how when you usually exhale and the steam of your breath, it goes up. But it would be so cold some of the times, and like at night, and that there was just no moisture in the air, and it would like, your breath would instantly freeze because it was so dry and because it was so cold, and it would just fall out of the sky. It was so funny and disturbing too, because, like, that's cold. And it definitely makes you go like, damn, I'm glad I got shelter tonight, because this is not fun. And and then the whole time you're sitting there whining and bitching, and you're like, oh, car heater, turn on, defrost. I want to go back to a little warmth. And I totally forgot my point of what I was talking about, other than the fact that when it is wicked cold, it is weird. Sorry, I got all quiet there. Do. What do I have? I am definitely gonna have to take a dab before I go to bed tonight. Which means I might also have to take some more. And not antihistamine, but decongestant and antihistamine. That's the other thing. That's the problem with me in this cold weather. Is closed air. Even like without stuff gets to me, but because like no lived in house is really absolutely free of any sort of allergen. Man, I've been watching that. So on Kit Boga, there's this story arc, for lack of a better term, of this group of scammers that he was screwing with over the long term. I guess like over a year. Come on, why? There we go. What? Yeah, sorry. Got distracted there. But yeah, so there's this arc, where Kit Boga, the scam baiter, has been interacting with these group of scammers, and it's kind of shifted this point now, but there have been some serious twists and turns and whatnot in these last, and like they're labeling them the epilogue episodes because technically it's not the same scammers specifically, but I don't know, it's kind of a spinoff from that. Granted, they're related more than what Cheers and Frasier were. But in the last epilogue, there's like some scammer called and was like, "I know you're a scam baiter, blah blah blah," and that's why the main characters of the original arc stopped talking to him. Supposedly, I don't know. It's super weird because the guy wouldn't like admit to being one of those people, and then he claimed to be someone else that, I don't know. It was super weird. It was really confusing, and apparently he did share information with Kit that apparently was never on stream, so either he talked to those original scammers at some point, like, or he was one of those original scammers, but his voice was like kind of different. It was just really confusing. But at the same time, it was like, what the hell? Come on. Yeah, I was registering my 3 fingers as 2. Cause yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I'm gonna jump back to bitching about the iPad. I think my quality of life would be behooved by getting one of those little controller things. But back to the scammers. I know I'm jumping around. It was interesting. Because it was just like, oh no, everything came undone. Because he just was having them do some ridiculous things. But I mean, at the same time, it was kind of funny that they actually finally, like, because Kit ended up like getting like almost 50 stolen American bank accounts from these guys. So he hurt them. He hurt them bad. I mean, granted, it's like over a year or whatever, so it was, but at the same time, you know, he took very expensive things from them, and he constantly reported their AnyDesks devices and whatnot. So it was kind of funny hearing just how demoralized that scammer was. Like, because you could hear him just being beat. Like, he was trying to, like, be all on hoity-toity. I got my big old Lund and ha 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 ha. But you could hear his, like, just, he was beaten. And it was funny. Because every time he tried to, like, get all pompous on Kit would be like, you would remind him of, like, something, and he'd be like, what about this? And it would just be like, oh, and it was just, yeah, no, bro. No, Mr. Scammer Man, you totally got hammered. You know, you did, it was funny. And it was also kind of funny, too, because he had called, because he basically was, he wanted to, like, basically he was gonna he was doing, like, ashes in his food type of shit. Where he's like, he thought that, you know, by narking on his competitors and whatnot, that it would, you know, by doing good here, it would kind of make up for my bad that I'm doing over there. And of course, anyone knows that that's not how that bullshit works. Especially from, you know, moralness and moral fortitude. You know, if you're, you know, because what he was doing is snitching. That was not, like, trying to do good. That was just one fool in the game trying to jam up someone else in the game. And it was also hysterical too because Kit ended up getting the main scammer's actual personal phone number from that dude. Oh, and Kit called him on the stream, and it was just so funny. Because you could just hear, because Kit calls him and goes, you know, introduces him, you know, his character to the scammer. And the scammer instantly changes his voice and goes from, you know, hello? You know, the inquisitive, open, you know, voice that we have when we answer a phone, you know, when we're thinking maybe it's a friend or whatever kind of a thing, to the whole, oh my gosh, you're a bill collector kind of voice. So, you have the wrong number. And then he sent Kid a bunch of text messages about, like, I don't know why you're calling me or blah 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 and all this other crap, and it's just like, come on, bro, you know why I'm calling you. Come on. Come on. Yo, bro. What's up with this? Stop it. Come on. Why are you being dumb? Come on. Let's go. Hello, Andrews? What do I want to do here? I think I want to do fat squares out there. Thinking about I think this is what I want to do here. So put thick little diamonds. Okay. We'll do one strokes. I wonder what this will look like. Man, yeah, that's the one thing that I just get. Like, I don't want to shame people, but at the same time, especially with this election results and whatnot, I really do kind of think that Americans are pretty fucking stupid on the half part. Because I mean, these scams are just ridiculous. Like, oh, someone might be involved in your local branch, and me at the Better Business Bureau we will save your money. Honest, we will. Do you want an icy with that? You know, and it's just like, how ill-informed, unknowledgeable about the average day-to-day shit of like banking and finance world, or you know, all these things that they take advantage of us. It's just sad, especially, you know, with the fact of, you know, our free public education system that we have and whatnot, and just how many people pass through it, but yet how many of them are absolute fucking morons. Like, it definitely makes me go, I am not surprised that so many Americans are constantly... Apparently there's a large problem with Americans developing hemorrhoids because they're not cleaning their asses enough. So basically, the thing is the takeaway is that Americans are becoming too stupid to know how to wipe their own ass, which is a little disturbing. Why does that line look thicker? That irritates me. How did I do that with the wrong lines? Whatever. Come on. Come on, old boy. You can do this. Come on. Let's go. There you go. But yeah, my point being is I used to be surprised that these scams work, but now I'm not that surprised that these scams work. People are absolutely, totally ignorant of what these departments and services are. It's really disturbing. And I've kind of been into that realm in the past about whether or not. Yeah, anyways, I don't know why the fuck I digressed down that bullshit road. It's sad that scammers can say these stupid things and fleece people. It's especially sad with how many institutions and whatnot that we have in America set up that could facilitate training, educating that would prevent this, but they don't. And I will grant that it's not universally one-sided failure on the institution's fault, but because, you know, a whole bunch of people are really fucking stupid or just selfish, or they don't care. They don't want to care and they don't bother to care. And you can't make them care. I mean, it sounds like I'm posturing like I wasn't that way myself when I was younger. But, you know, I stood on misunderstandings and I'm glad nowadays I don't do that as much as I once did. I mean, obviously, can't be perfect. We all have our biases that throw us off. That has turned into a depressing talk. I'm sorry, I need to change subject matter. Ooh, doggy. The color blue, man, it's so great. So there's these interesting colors out there. They're called phalos. And they're usually inks. Sometimes you can get them in paint too. But in the ink, they do an interesting thing in that when they come straight out of the can, they're often just this side of black, and how dark they are, just they're super saturated. So there's like phthalo green and phthalo blue are the most common ones, if maybe all of them. And the point of them is that you mix them with white, and the more white you mix with them, the brighter they are. Like, that's one of the cool things. So oftentimes when you mix white with a color, with most ink colors, you get a level of desaturation that occurs because white is gray to some extent, but not really. So you know, the color becomes desaturated the brighter you make it with white. But with phalos, when you brighten it up with white, it doesn't lose saturation. So, and it's really cool because you can make these beautiful colors that are essentially like 60-70% white ink, but they make these just beautiful blues and greens. And the other cool thing about phalos too is they often have a level of transparency about them. Even in their full opaque standardness, they overlay very interestingly, especially if you use, instead of using, because the other cool thing that you can do with phalos is instead of using white to brighten up the color, which ups the opacity of the ink, because white ink is essentially just zinc oxide mixed in with the binder, is you cut the phthalo inks with a transparent base. And when you do that, you do a little bit of white too to help brighten it, but you use the white of your paper. And the whiteness of your paper causes, so the more transparent base that you add to your phthalo ink causes more of the white paper to show up, which causes more of that phthalo to mix with the white on the paper, but also any other inks below it, which is cool and can create some. I've seen a couple artists, one of the things that they do is these intense like massive foliage prints, like a forest and whatnot, and the overlaying that they can achieve is just so beautiful. But yeah, phthalo inks, cool little secret in the art world. You should try them out sometime if you're doing stuff. They're interesting. They're misleading and kind of hard to work with. if you don't understand them. And for the longest time, I didn't fully understand what they were doing or how they were supposed to work until I had a teacher actually like explain it to me. Because one of the things they were also the Philip inks, my understanding, were created in the French lithographic tradition that you were like where they were making the labels and whatnot comes from. And so it was getting a saturated blue and green that weren't, opaque, and also did good layering. And yeah, so they were designed, created for, creating all these fancy product labels and whatnot. It is also kind of interesting. A little history there is those so like those advertising posters, those labels, as well as like posters for shows and whatnot. Many of them they use these process called lithography. So that's that's how those those classic posters that we think of when we think of like Moulin Rouge and that kind of crap, those were all lithographies and not silkscreen, so they had softy edges and whatnot. But that whole lithography tradition is really kind of cool. And there's like a bunch of cool things that came out of it. Because, well, that's the other thing too, is like I was saying, it was products. A lot of products, their labels, their packaging were made by it. Because that's the other thing too. Because like if you are old enough for whatever, you might be just seen them. But those like canned tomatoes and those like really nice labels and whatnot, and back in the day, those were printed, lithographically. So there was a lot of resources being devoted to that printing process, and that's part of what why there are so many cool little things in printmaking that come out of the lithography school. Speaking about like both the inks, media and materials, as well as modes of image creation and or because that whole Man Ray thing, as well as various versions of that overlayment. Why, dude? Three fingers should be forward. Okie dokie. Oops, don't go that way. Go this way. But yeah, so the lithography tradition printing is really cool. It's also it's still used a lot more extensively than people realize. Because technically, actually, most product labels, like can labels and whatnot that we purchase, to my understanding, are still lithographically printed. With that said, they're not using the same one kind of form. And also, they've done things to make it significantly lower the price, but also kind of lowered the quality to some extent. But it's one of those things where it's an expensive overlay for setup, but like once you have the lithographic plate printed up for the full size, print out paper for your, your canned labels or whatever, your price per label goes down significant really fast, and it's faster than inkjet printing or whatnot. Still, my understanding. I mean, maybe it's getting close to it, but at the same time too, though, so much of the modern digital reproduction, so like how copy machines work, like Xerox machines work, is actually like they create a temporary lithographic plate to make the print. It's so, and also like risographs and whatnot are very much in that same way. So there's a lot of these non-lithographic printing techniques that are technically deviations of it. But instead of doing things manually, like with your hand drawing it out or whatever, it's the initial one is kind of plotted out digitally or whatever. But oh wow. I screwed that one up. You know what? I'm just gonna have to undo all this stuff. I think as you see, yeah, I got all quiet there. Sorry, guys. Lithography is cool. It doesn't have to be done on stones. The modern, I think it's called like drama lithography. I'm blanking now. There's also how most of those really nice looking fancy magazines are printed too. Because with lithography, granted, you can do the Man Ray thing. Am I saying the right thing? But it's like the color overlay of dots and density of dot things. But you can do that. But the other thing that you can do too is segment overlay, like how the Japanese print woodblock printers do it. I don't think it's Man Ray because I'm just getting the artist's name. I'm gonna have to look this up because quick Googling is not giving me the answer. They're calling it comic dots and whatnot, but that's not the right name. I mean, I guess you could call it halftone, but it's more than halftone. Halftone is just for gray value, so it's light to darkness, and you can kind of technically it's like a combination of like halftone for every color is this technique that I'm talking about. I'll have to look it up, figure it out what it's called later. But it's the premise of how all like newspapers and most magazines are printed. Hell, it's even kind of the technique on how inkjet works. But inkjet works on, instead of doing it on the paper, they often do it in the air and have the colors mix as it's laying it down. And I mean, that's kind of true, but at the same time, they don't fully homogenize. So you can still, like, if you stare closely at that with like a magnifying glass or whatever, you can see the different colors of the dots. Okay, those ones are right now. That's good. Yeah, that's kind of bugging me that I forget that. Why do I think it's called... Maybe it's Monterey? Oh. It's obviously a French term, because almost all printing terms are French terms. Chincoulé, à l'épopée, mezzotint. You know, the touche. There's all kinds of stuff. So the printing process is very French. Which is true for almost all art processes at the time. In the way that English is the language of science, especially, you know, from like 1950 onwards. English is the definitive language of science. French was the language of art. I think part of that too was just because it was foofy, you know, oufy ooh, allez poupée. You know, and that, or chincolé instead of pasted paper. It's chincolé. You know, which one sounds more foofier? You know, so I get it. It's like Especially since, you know, art is essentially like 88% absolute, just the BSing that you're doing. And the story that you tell the viewers. Did my camera just die on me? It did. Son of a bitch. Hi, folks. I'm gonna cover my hair. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. Let me fix my camera here while we do this. Really? Whatever. Let me check something. Make sure my Wi-Fi number here is still the same. Looks like we got the same. Okay. So in my experience, the only way to fix this at this point is to do a quick restart. It'll take a few minutes. You know what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take this opportunity to take a short break here. Let me get up, walk around, give my butt a break. Let that camera reboot and whatnot. So please stick around. We should be back shortly. We have made almost no progress. I really wanted to get more done. I'm really hoping that I mean, I say we've made no progress, but we've essentially got that middle belt all lined up and ready at this point. And I guess a good goal would be to finish this middle belt, and because I think I can get this top belt done. How many lines we got here? We got 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna have to look at it to get a good understanding of what I want to do. So short break. See you around. Please stick around, people. Oh, it is so nice in my studio right now, folks. It would actually constitute being Oh, I'm back, guys. I'm back. Have we really been going for like 240? Why aren't you charging? Okay, we're not charging. There's no way in hell we're getting done with everything I just talked about tonight because my iPad is going to die before too long. So I'm gonna hurry up, finish this belt. Be irritated that that's 2 hours worth of work and all, but whatever. I feel like I shifted. Oh, yeah, you guys don't need to be staring at my face. I feel like I shifted here. Let's put this up a little bit. It's a little bit better. Can you still hear me okay? Somewhat? It's microphone. Kinda don't like these thin lines here. Almost wish it was more weighty. I don't know, it does play well against each other. And by doing that, I do get an interesting, like 4, 1, 1, 3, 2, or whatever, like, because that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. So they all get to kind of be near each other so you can see. It also makes me kind of tempted to do this. Ooh, because by doing that and then do that there, I kind of like that. Okay, we're gonna do that. This isn't a problem. So those tails that you're seeing back here, I can just like that. Obviously not quite that much. We'll go back to the smaller and just boop like that. Boop. I actually already gotta wipe these ones. Oh, come on. Yeah, like I said, and no, I like that. Let's see what that looks like. So we can put these there. So I'll just trim those there. Go there. Now the only thing I'm questioning is whether or not to do this there. It does kind of work. Okay, yeah. I like that. Come on. Oh. And here's the other thing too. It's like about the scammers, like gullibility of Americans by scammers. It's like they make it out like some of the most regulated industries, like the sexual entertainment industry, is like it's a money laundering operation. And it's like they wish they could launder money. Like they are way too oversighted. I mean, so many of those places, those services like OnlyFans or whatever, are way too, like, they have way too much to lose to become money launderers, because they just because they would stop being able to take credit cards, and they make so much money with their credit cards. And credit card companies get really weird about people doing fraud. Did not. Sorry about that, folks. I'm gonna have to make some adjustments to my Steam Deck so it's easier for me to hit that mute button. Oh, come on. Come on. Let's get all these dots in the right spot. Come on. What are you weird? I mean, it's stuff like this, which is why I really do wish we had a supernatural, because, like, that'd be the only way that we could actually figure out why the hell our devices are misbehaving like this. As if we actually had. Oh man, what I would do if we lived in a world where Technoforce empowerment truly existed. Because so much of this weird stuff is just weird and we'll never really know. And the times we figure it out, it's usually not that we've ever figured out the cause, we just figured out a correlational solve. Come on. Holy line. Very toasty in my studio, by the way. Oh. It is very nice to not be chilly. Before I got my new heater, man, I was chilly. I was chilly all the time. These last couple of weeks. But yeah, I definitively hate daylight savings. Cause, like, here where I'm at, it's where it's everywhere. It's it's dark by like 5 o'clock, which is really freaking depressing and sad and annoying. Excuse my bag sucking. But the other thing too, though, is that like by the time the day heats up, it's like it heats up like maybe starts heating up around 11, but it's gone. The heat of the day is gone by 1 o'clock at the latest. And it's only like nice for like 2 hours. Like it's only warm for 2 hours. And it's not the same, man. It's like I try to get my warmth on. But it's hard to get your warmth on if there's just like 2 hours. But yeah, like daylight savings, man, and the day is fairly warm. And it gets dark early. Just sucks. I just don't think it's necessary. Oh, really? Come on. Wow, I am running out of stuff to talk about. That was one of the weird things about living in Arizona, was that Arizona does not do daylight savings time. It's one of those few things that those ultra-libertarian states get right, man. It was kind of a weird adjustment getting back to it. Cause that was the other thing, is like, calling my folks or whatever and be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, it's like 10 o'clock for you. My bad. Because, I'm thinking it's only like 9. Which is late, but not like 10 o'clock late. Oh man, I think the scam baiting video I'm watching is almost over, guys. So the ending of these scam baiting videos is kind of funny because like there's a bunch of times often I think, and I feel like the video like it's gonna like the adventure's coming to an end, like he's getting these solved or whatever, you know, like the scammers are figuring it out. And then in some way or another, it's not. It's like it really is interesting watching the mind of a greedy person. Because it's funny, because like, yeah, because Kit will screw with these guys and then they'll get pissy. But then they get desperate and they're like, but she had millions of dollars in her account. Yeah, sorry guys, I got awfully quiet there. Kind of getting frustrated by the end here. I think my iPad is about to throw out a low battery warning on me. How long have I been streaming? Holy shit, does that actually say 3 hours? I don't think I've been actually streaming for 3 hours. Maybe. Well, whatever. I am trying to stream for longer periods here. I am thinking like maybe in the future of doing a 2-part stream kind of thing. So like but I don't know if I have that in me. My idea is like a 6-hour stream that's in 3-hour segments. But it's a thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I do like that what is his name? Pirate Software Cat. I enjoy his. I enjoy how he's doing his thing. Like how, cause he's like streams for over 8 hours a day, something like that. But at the same time, he's like turned his work into the stream. Okay, this is laggy. Cool. Sorry, no, I looked up and I saw the playback on my YouTube thing, and it was like 30 or 40 minutes behind, so it kind of threw me off there for a minute. Anyways, laggy stuff. Forgot what the hell I was talking about. Damn, man. TVIs are a pain in the ass. Come on. There you go, polyline. I think one thing that Procreate could do that would be super helpful would be when autoline is done, like when it kicks in, like auto shape, auto line, in any format, whatever the hell it thinks, it should pop in polyline. Just automatically, polyline should be a choice there for you to use. It should just be automatic, whether or not you're. Just because of how, honestly, how much more useful polyline is than all those other shapes. So if it just was there every time, especially for those weird times when the auto shape is like making everything into arcs or circles. Okay. See, low battery warning. Knew it was coming, guys. Had a feeling. Go ahead. Let's go there. No. That helps if you put these anchor spots in the right place there, son. Fucking hell. You're busting my balls, Small. You're busting my balls. Come on, Procreate. We can do this. We've got this. We're like down to the last one, maybe two. Come on, old girl. We got this. We can finish this. The other thing that gets me about scammers is how the hell does any one of them think that they honestly sound like a native English speaker? Like, I'm not shitting on their skills or abilities, because obviously their English is a million times better than my Hindi, or Panache, or whatever the heck it is that they're speaking. Native, Africanese, Nigerian, whatever. But at the same time, I mean, like, acknowledge the fact that no, you don't sound like a native English speaker. So don't play like you sound like one. It just amazes me, like, how many of these scammers get butthurt when they get called out for, not sounding like native English speakers. Because so many of them think they're like Madonna in their English accent. They're like, I totally believable, mate. It's just delusion. But at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, I mean, it's like there's a reason why these guys can't hold down normal jobs. B, there's a reason that they're, little delulus. Like, it's not that surprising that a person who decides to take the hard way in life. Okay. Oh, we finished that. Just in time. My iPad is literally gonna die, guys. Okay. Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, people. Thanks for joining. Pause my headphones. It's been a good stream. It seems like it might even have been something of a long stream. With that said, I'm both disappointed and elated that we got a long stream off, but I'm kind of disappointed at the lack of actual progress being made. Now, I mean, with that said, it's like, oh my gosh, is that really 3 hours worth of work? Apparently, that is 3 hours worth of work, folks. I guess it did take a couple breaks, so let's say 2.5 hours. 2 hours worth of work. But, that's art for you. You will never get your time back from the creation process. And that's just an absolute fact when it comes to art. But, generally, it's whatever. It's not like I wouldn't have done anything, at least, this is like 3 hours of my life of something instead of, something I've made and done, instead of just passively lived my life through it. But yeah, thanks for joining. Come back Thursday, we'll have one more stream. We'll be streaming Tuesday of that holiday week as well, but nothing on Thursday. Hopefully we get more of this done on Tuesday. There's not a chance in hell we're gonna get it finished, especially considering how long that took, but hopefully we'll get probably what we'll do is we'll lay into this field up here, because I see a lot of good stuff and some stuff, but we'll have to lay out some thicker lines around some of these square spots so that these like textured things and whatnot can cut into them without overlapping. So yeah, we'll probably do like the 4 size pen, the number 4 for it. Probably do the number 4 around all these little squares. Yeah, I think we'll do 4s directly around the pinwheels. And split this parquet with 3. Yeah, we'll do 4 around that. We'll do probably probably use the 3 to make the squares in this parquet, so this outside, and you know, these. Nah, I'm gonna have to do the 2s. 3s will be too much. Cause yeah, what I'll do is I'll do the squares 2s and these hash lines as 1s. Maybe is this a 4 line? It seems a little thin. No, that is a 4. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm thinking. But so yeah, plan for Tuesday is we will work on this field and get these pinwheels. At least, yeah, we're gonna box them in first, and then we'll start on the parquet to some extent. I'm not gonna do it all right away, because also I'll probably get really quiet when I start doing all those little lines. But yeah, I definitely see some fun here, and it's going to be fun for me at least. So hopefully you'll all enjoy it. So join us Thursday 8 p.m. and I'll see you then. Thanks for joining, and stay safe, everybody.